record, permission to record this, if you don't mind. Okay. So, and then this is what I was saying. This is what hello?
Go ahead.
Okay, please, if you can mute, that will be fine. So that I will not feel distracted. The other time, from the little slides I sent to you, and I asked you to go on google.com, you right click on the Google and you view source, and you might have seen this very this thing here, like that on the Google. Moving on, we said that you should go ahead and inspect the logo and see how you could change them. Did anybody try to figure out the height and the width of the Google logo? Did anybody?
No, sir. No, sir.
You didn't do this assignment? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Nobody? Nobody. Wow. So how you guys plan to kickstart this? Is it that you don't understand it? You just go on www.google, you put your cursor on the logo, the Google logo, you right click on it, you try to inspect the elements, you go down, and then inspecting elements, when you click inspect element, it will toggle to either a width or the height. And you just set the value of the width to 700 and that of height to 30, just for you to see this outcome. It may not necessarily look like this, but it's going to look something close to it, depending on your browser and the device that you're using. Because I'm using a Mac, this is how it looks. So up till now, I don't know why. You are joining for the first time, just join, please. Elagu. Just join, you will learn. We are starting from the beginning. All right. That is not a much issue. Whether you inspect element to see, we are trying to tell you what an element attribute looks like, but that is okay. We'll cover all of that in the future slides. So we talked about clients and server, where we told you that clients is the front, the server is the back end, right? And we made mention of like the screen, you going into www.facebook or any other website, what you see is whatever you are seeing there as an ordinary person or a visitor, you are seeing the client side. The part that you cannot see at that moment that you have to debug to see the code, that is the server side. At this level, time will come, you will see what a server looks like, right? So client left, server right. And that took us to HTTP request and response. A request, that is you trying to click something, and a response. For that thing that you click, either you see it or you don't see it, there must be a response. It's either it's positive or negative. Like you can see the arrow using the principle of handshake, you know, clients trying to talk to the server, server responding. So this is very, very key. And we told you that about the server technology of the HTML, JavaScript, and so many of them, and why the server technology like programming language like PHP, Python, Java, and database language like MySQL, Postgres, Cassandra, MariaDB, and co. These are also a server language, right? So don't ever think that because your response is negative, server has not responded. You know, response can be negative, it can be positive. All right. When you get positive response, then it will be okay, and that is 200. You know, it will declare it okay. And for you to get, you might have set So request, we call it get. As you are clicking to get, right? We call it getter and sector. That is in the very little bit of advance. When you start doing your API or your agile score or your algorithm, that is when you start knowing, or maybe what's it called? Framework. Then you start knowing the getter and the setter, right? So when you try to get the get system, the get protocol will go to the host will check, and if he has it, please excuse me, mute, please. Can you just go ahead and mute, or I'll mute you from here? So you host, you click, it will go to the host and check if the host has it. Then if it does, it will just accept it. And it will record directly to the HTML and merge it to the extensive mockup language. And from there, you get the response in a proper order. So this is what a server looks like. This is a very, very, probably the smallest server. Sorry, guys. So in case this meeting ends in 10 minutes, you are to join the second link by 8, so that we'll continue. Okay, so this is a smaller server, but this is how a server looks like. Servers can be as big as 5-story building, 10-story building, depending on the size of the data center. You see the one that Google built in Hong Kong, in fact, it's as big as about 1,000 hectares capacity and up, very high. The AI one that they just launched in Hong Kong. Please, as you are coming in, mute. So, like I was telling you about, okay, if all is okay, then in the behind the scene, it will register it as 200, means all is well. And that means what you are trying to get, the server has it. It will come in positive way. At that period, within a very micro second, to check the content length, to check the content type, the doc type, it will change the HTML and the SML, it will, before it will broadcast it to you. So when it broadcasts now, this is the front end for that little thing that you saw there. So, but when nothing is found, it could be page not found. You might have been seeing a lot about this, like page not found, resource not found. So basically, it could be that you are not seeing anything from what you are asking, right? So, for example, you click www.something. If that domain name is not registered or is not found, it's going to come with this. You might have come across this several times though. So, and these are the common HTTP starter code. Meaning of HTTP is hypertext transfer protocol. It will hype the text and then transfer it. But that process of doing it is a protocol, right? So 200, everything is okay, and 400 is resource not found, while 500 is so yeah, that is it. And so many of them, millions of those starter codes, ranges depending on what is solving and what is trying to tell you. 100s, they are informational. Like you already know, at the end of this class, definitely we will submit the slides. So all you need to know now is understand it. Don't try to memorize. What did you say? Hello? 300, they are redirectional. What is this man saying?
Which person?
Is it Michael, whatever? I just muted him. Please mute before, don't make me to mute everybody. So please, let's respect ourselves. So 400, they are client's error, 500 server error, and that is how the error goes. All right, that is where we stopped the other time, though we couldn't get there before the whole thing went off. Now is the big deal. This is where the technology, we say that we're going to be, starting with starts. Now we are on HTML, hypertext markup language. This is the content structure of the website, right? It is just like the skeleton of a website. It is just like the noun of a sentence. It has nothing to do with the adjective of the sentence or the verbs. And this has nothing to do with the flesh or you breathing, the functionalities in human being. So you're going to look at it this way. You're going to look at this as the carcass in a house, the framework. For whatever, if you want to know the value of human being, take the bone, the skeletal part of human being out of that human being, then you will know. So when you take this HTML out of a website, then you will see that our website has no structure anymore. It does not have bone anymore. So this part handles only the content structure. Call it framework, call it a noun, call it a skeleton of a website, right? And what does it stand for? The very, very first question that usually comes when you are taking the certification in the HTML is, what does it stand for? Hypertext markup language, right? So moving on, I said earlier, it is the content of your web page. For example, you have a blog page. The HTML will describe the different sections, the div, the articles, right? And, the header, the body, and the footer. We'll get to see all of this in a practical sense, right? The website is divided into 3 sections: the header, the body, and the footer, just like human being, the head, the body, and the foot. So also HTML, a website is divided into these 3 sections. Okay, so HTML is not a style. The part that handles the style is the adjective part, which is CSS. It does handle the presentation, the styling, that wow, that color, that positioning, right? That measurement of the sizes. Talk about the margin, the padding, the border right, border left, border bottom, border top, margin left, right, top bottom, and all of this. It is the CSS that handle that part, right? Talking about anything beautiful is never close to HTML. That is found in the CSS. And know very well the CSS is rule-based. All right, so HTML is made up of nested tag. Start with the most general and nest it, becoming more and more specific, right? Becoming more and more specific. So, and what we mean here is, it starts with a doc type. It will declare the doc type, right? And declare the parents of the HTML, to declare the head. In the head, you're going to have a title, metadata, and all of that stuff. And then it will declare the body. In the body, everything now can go in there. And everything, I mean, whatever is going to be showing on the side, that is where it's going to be going on the body section, right? And after that, even the footer is under the body, but within the body tag, right?
What did you go?
Mute, please. So, for a better understanding, mute, madam. Who is this person? Is it that I don't understand or what? When I say you should mute, mute, please. Don't distract us. Take your conversation outside this place. Thank you. So the role of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in the web development, the HTML handles the content, which is the skeletal part. The CSS handles the presentation part. That is a style. And the JavaScript handles the dynamic effects, which is a functionality, right? Is a functionality that it handles. So look at it from the very perspective of English language. You're going to see this as the noun, which is the paragraph tag. P is used to denote paragraph, and open tag and closing tag, right? So adjective now is the CSS. For example, you say the paragraph color should be red, you know, you give it the value of red.